Yo. All right. I've been thinking about making a video like this for a minute. I am going to go through how I use Ableset at a small church in Texas. So, it's good to see you. My name is Jordan Dabanapala. I'm the worship leader at a church called Hope Arise. It's in San Antonio, Texas, and we're a small church. Right? We do things pretty small up there. There's so much competition in the area that it's tough. But regardless, this is about Ableset and Ableton and how I'm able to run it weekly, even at a small church, and why I kind of run Ableset, right? Why we run Ableton. So let's just get into that. We've been running Ableton for about 6 months now, and I am such a nerd for techie stuff like this, running backing tracks on trying to find the most efficient ways to, make a song in Ableton and never have to worry about it again, right? And if you've thought that way too, you know the struggle of figuring out something that you're like, oh no, I've already made 100 songs in Ableton, and now there's something I realized I have to do for each one of them to change them, right? And so I thought I'm gonna make a video on just how I do it now, and maybe you could take some lessons that I've learned and not have to, let's just look at all our projects, right? These are these need lyrics. All of these songs I gotta go fix to run our lyric tracks. That's my most recent aha thing that I've discovered about Ableset, and I love it so much. So let's just get right into it, right? Here is my session. Pretty self-explanatory, right? If you've ever run Ableton, you've probably seen a lot of stuff like this. You've probably done stuff like this. I'll give you a few things that I've done specifically. I made an empty MIDI track on each of my songs, just called notes. Or if there's a note about a song, right, maybe a tempo runs weird sometimes. I don't know. But mainly notes for me just means put the original key of the song. That way, when you go to transpose, you just already know where you're starting from. That's probably a great idea. So I just make that in the MIDI track. All my stuff are labeled in groups for the mixer in Ableset. So you can see everything has its own group. So here's the drum section. Drums, bass, electric, keys, vocals. I have an effects one, but there's no effects in the song, so that will be left out. But then everything else has a panic at the end of it. That way, I can quickly just fade all of the tracks at once if we need to. And sometimes the guy in the sound booth doesn't realize that you're off track, right? And so we can't just mute you. Right, it takes a minute for him to realize, it's just easy to have something on stage with a fader on stage that you can use to just mute your tracks whenever you want to. Pro Presenter, this is just kind of running all of our Pro Presenter lyrics. It's going to my laptop, which is not set up right now because my laptop is turned off. But we use Bohm Network for that, by the way. I recommend you do the same. It took me so long to figure out a great way to MIDI lyrics from this Mac computer to a Windows computer running Pro Presenter. The reason I use a Windows computer is it's a laptop, and I wanted a lot of outputs on it, and it was easier for me to do it on a Windows than a Mac. I know you can do it on a Mac, but also I just don't have two Macs. I have a Windows. So there you go. Another note is the panic on here isn't so necessary. It actually doesn't do anything to mute this. Shoot, that probably just did everything. Oh, interesting. Weird. But yeah, the panic on here doesn't do anything, but it's cool to just see here, right, when everything's like this, to see this go down visually. If you're in the sound booth, you can kind of just notice, okay, that's, this, everything's muted, It's easy, just way to see that. Other than that, that's kind of all I got here, other than our lyrics. I'll go into lyrics real quick. Lyrics, I have 4 right now. Just everybody in the band, MD, lead vocal, BGVS. Pretty much the band and the lead vocal have the same track. It's just without chords, right? The lyric just doesn't. Lead vocal doesn't need chords, and the chords take up space that you could put more words in. So it looks cleaner too. MD just kind of like notes that like if I was MDing, I would want, kind of just say in the mic. That's what I would put in here. And then BGVS, it's great to kind of like have a BGVS, not have to guess when to come in, right? When you just make this track like that. And my cheat sheet was, I look at it like if there's a BGVS in the song for tracks, look at this. They're all matched, right? So here. Here. This is some weird thing in the instrumental. So no. Everything else, the rest of the song, right? So that's kind of how I run that. But let's go into Ableset and let's see how I do my canvases and all that jazz. Where is it? It's over here. And also, real quick, I will walk through this lyrics track generator. I recommend you use this. Really great thing right here. Ableset has lyrics track generator. So this is what I was just doing earlier tonight for Another Stone. You type the name of it, you put your chords, and it takes a while. All right, it took me an hour to like really do all the lyrics because I had to do this, time them all up to the song, which you just sync lyrics. You add your own track right here, right? You just add the track there, and then you sync it up yourself. But it's so much easier to do that than to type in every single clip. So do it this way. I promise you it's quicker. I've done both ways, so that's how I know. With that said, Ableset. This is one of our lyric tracks. This is like if someone had their phone open for BGVS, for lead vocal, this is how they would see it. MD, band. They wouldn't see it on a computer, so they would see it in this like layout. Now, when you go here to actually look at all the things, it looks crazy, but you see, that's not how it looks in reality. Let's go look at what we have. The mixer, right? You'll notice the lyrics has a mixing track. Why would you want that? Right? Like, it's not an audio track. That's weird. The only reason is just because you can mute it, right? You can just mute the lyrics track, and you don't get a mute button if you don't group the track. So there you go. Panic, I just talked about that. Reference track, I always have it automatically muted. Well, not automatically. I mute it myself whenever I save the session. But here I have everything stemmed out, just so you could walk around with an iPad. You could, if you were just like, let's say your sound guy called in and you still got to do the set, and someone's running tracks who doesn't know what they're doing, and you kind of hear it in house, like, oh my gosh, there's this keys part that is piercing loud. You can just mix it on your phone. Like, it's super easy. You could just walk around, do that. And yeah, let's go to the canvases. Let's start with the front of house canvas. So on my Mac computer, this is how we're running the canvas. Oh, oops. Sorry. There we go. This is made to look good in a full set, but we're in a song. So that's why this looks weird. There is no next song, and the current song is called Start because that's just the first cue I have. This tells you the time. This is our panic fader, and I labeled it as tracks. Here's our set list. They can start, loop, go to the mixer by the click of that button. But my favorite part about it is the manual and auto lyrics, which is coded with the background color. So you can look at that, copy if you want it. So it looks to see if the lyrics track is muted, and if it is, then it goes green, because if it's green, that means you are running manual lyrics. You are doing it yourself. If it's going automatically, you just do the exact opposite. See that? Well, actually, it wasn't showing. There we go. It looks to see if it's muted. If so, okay, yeah, we get it. All right. I don't know why it's like not refreshing. That's so weird. There we go. If it's muted, it turns red. If it's not, it's green. So just to see it in action, let's go to the canvas. It's an automatic lyrics, which means lyrics are not muted. Now, if we go to the canvas and we click manual, you can notice it just got muted. Awesome stuff for if your lyrics go haywire and your front of house guy is like, how do I use Ableset? Just make a button that says manual lyrics. Make his life easy. Let's go to our drums. I made this for our drummer so he can just visually, obviously this is made for phone. So let's go like that. He can see a visual metronome. He does not have the ability to stop and start the song. You know, I want my MD in front of house to do that. No one else. This is like the section, like this is the progress of the song. This is the progress of the section. Name of the song, name of the next song. This is the MD notes. That way he can actually see what's going on. Which actually he could stop and he could mess up the song by clicking this. But like he has no business touching it while he's holding his drums or his drumsticks. So we'll be good there. Let's go to our last canvas, which is our MD canvas. This is for our music director. There we go. He uses an iPad and it has the MD notes, a set list, stop button, and a loop, or stop and start, and a looping button. And that's pretty much it. That's how we use Ableset. It's so amazing to have multiple, you know, devices be able to like look like just be involved, I guess, with the automation of everything. I just love it so much. Ableset has really been great for us for forever. I mean, it's such a great tool to use to, you know, run your tracks without having to like worry about someone in front of house like messing things up. So I guess that is all I got to talk about. But I hope if you have if you're on the fence about using Ableset, I pray that you use it because it's amazing. It's really a game changer. But other than that, yeah, let me know any comments of something you think I could do to be more efficient with Ableset. Maybe something like you're like, oh my gosh, he needs to do this. Or let me know if I showed you something that like you're going to use or made you think of using something, I guess. But either way, I hope you all have a great day. Appreciate it.